Can I request Director Joshi to please commence with the proceedings this evening?
Thank you, Samir. Excellency, Reuven Rivlin, Hon'ble President of the State of Israel, Ambassador Daniel Kauman, Dr. Nashad Forbes, President of the Confederation of Indian Industry, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. It gives us immense pleasure today to welcome Excellency President Reuven Rivlin at a time when the two countries are marking 25 years of the relationship, diplomatic relationship between our two countries. So, sir, thank you very much for this opportunity to host this forum, jointly organized with the Confederation of Indian Industry and the Embassy of Israel. The Observer Research Foundation especially welcomes you to this evening. We are all looking forward to this oration today, to hear you lay out the contours of a vision for the onward journey of our two nations together. So I'm going to be very brief. The years behind us have already seen this partnership steadily evolve and mature into the current position of strength. A lot has gone into it, and remarkably, what has been remarkable about this is that the partnership has happened through the thick and thin of it all in the last 25 years. Israel and India have had a unique relationship which has fundamentally been born out of a deep admiration. An admiration and a trust for each other, for the peoples of both the countries, and the mutual appreciation that both have held for each other's cultures, each other's national concerns, and each other's causes and priorities. Because of which, our joint commitment to the prosperity and growth of not just ourselves, but for the entire region, has always served to reinforce these ties, even when global geopolitics at times may have positioned us in opposite corners of the ring. And that, I think, has been the strength. So this partnership, in a way, has always been a source of reassurance, a very strong reassurance. Common security concerns have made defense technology ties between the two countries a critical component of our bilateral relationship. And needless to say, these elements continue to be vital as we go on and will remain one of the cornerstones in our future as well. But looking ahead, I'm reminded of something that the Defense Minister of Israel said at a talk he gave 2 years ago about the India-Israel relationship. And he said this relationship was now being brought out of the closet. It was coming forth. The joint threats faced by us in the past have already cemented our trust. Taking that further, now the emerging realities of the world enable us to rise beyond the constraints of the last century, to forge a new, open, broad, and robust alliance, to move beyond them. And having brought this relationship out of the closet, sir, now is the opportunity to unlock its full potential. And that is what makes, Excellency, this visit of yours so special. There is a new determination in both countries to craft a new comprehensive partnership, one that even as it continues its vigorous engagements in existing areas, is raring to go on and become multi-sectoral in its ambitions. One that seeks to serve the aspirations of the people by moving into contemporary domains, by opening new frontiers for engagement. And let me very briefly just touch on 3 of these. First, in a resource-constrained world, the rich experience, knowledge and learnings from Israel in core traditional sectors like water, agriculture, can enable us to reimagine the opportunities offered by the land economy. Battling climate change, environmental degradation, the sharing of Israeli technological know-how and innovative practices can result in huge benefits by incorporating greater efficiency in resource management, leading to higher productivity for Indian farmers. I know that this sector has been a key focus for your visit, this particular visit, and I'm sure this is going to spur far greater efforts by the two countries and their institutions to develop much more in this area. Second is another area of our strength, which is cyberspace. Again in this sphere, cooperation in cybersecurity has already been a very strong element of our partnership. But in the coming years, as the digital economy gathers steam and the Internet of Things takes over, India and Israel are poised to be one of its movers and shakers. As you have already seen, sir, driving around Delhi, long queues outside every bank branch in the country. India is actually in the throes of converting the very nature of its economy from a traditional cash-based system into a new, modern banking system. And as a tool for liberating and empowering citizens right down to the last mile, the new digital platforms can be the drivers spearheading economic change and delivering effective democracy through better, cleaner governance. Israel has an extremely rich ecosystem of innovation around distributed ledger systems or the blockchain technologies that power the Bitcoin. These technologies are set to completely change the banking and financial sector over the next few years. But more importantly, Israeli tech companies have been at the forefront in exploring the potential of distributed ledgers to unleash the power of decentralized models for not just the use of banking, finance, and commerce, but even for governance and the delivery of services and benefits to the bottom of the pyramid. And that brings me to the last and third focus, which lies in building human resource and capacity for the fourth industrial revolution that is waiting in the wings. Skilling the huge untapped human resources of this country, joining together in capacity building and knowledge creation that can propel our human resource to become value creators and integral elements of the emerging digital production value chains. And here Tel Aviv and Bangalore, which you also have visited, exemplify the extent complementarities that can forge this symbiotic relationship between us. So India and Israel together can become the powerhouses for driving the growth of the digital economy that Prime Minister Modi has been laying so much emphasis on. Israel offers India an offshore innovation hub with best-in-class regulations and policies for a wider economic partnership to flourish. India, for its part, by its sheer size, offers strategic economic depth. These are just a few sweeping thoughts. I would say they are straws in the wind, hinting at the wide range of possibilities of the future. And through the course of this visit, you have been paving the way for setting the agenda of a new chapter in this partnership. A partnership that is determined to be a force for peace, stability, and prosperity for both the countries in the region. No doubt this is a relationship that will continue to see massive political and economic investment from both sides. Therefore, sir, your visit is indeed a pivotal moment. And for this reason, we are all eagerly awaiting to hear your thoughts for the future. But before I invite His Excellency to deliver the address this evening, there remains our little welcome ritual, for which I would like to request Shub and Dr. Nashad Forbes to come forward and welcome His Excellency in a traditional mode by presenting him with the shawl. With this, may I request you to come and address this gathering.
When I was acting as the Speaker of the Israeli Knesset, I sometimes was very much embarrassed because there were so many distinguished guests and I had to mention almost every one of them. So I cancelled with the the ninth president of Israel, Shimon Peres, God bless his soul, what can we do? And he said, say, Mr. President, distinguished guests, since I became the president, it's quite complicated, so I'll try to manage. Ambassador of Israel to India, Ambassador of India to Israel, Director of the ORF, President of CII, President of the Industrial Organization Shraga Bosch, Yafa Zilberschatz, the head of all universities and the academia in Israel, presidents, representatives of universities and colleges from all over India and from all over Israel, and distinguished guests, every one of you. More than 100 years ago, the great yoga master, Swami Vivekananda began his most famous speech in Chicago with the everlasting words, "Sisters and brothers of America." I would like to use his words and say to you all, sisters and brothers of India. God bless India. Thank you for your hospitality and welcome. Dear sisters and brothers, about 4,000 years ago, one of our fathers, Jacob, met a few men on his journey from the land of Israel. He didn't know these shepherds, but he called them brothers. This is the power of two ancient nations that have pride in their identity, but know very well that all human beings are sisters and brothers. I've been here only a few days, but I can already say that it has been a special experience. I've been amazed and inspired by the power, strength, and energy of this great nation. I'm deeply impressed by your great development, your booming economy, and the way millions of people are taking a greater share in your nation's prosperity. Just today, we exchanged academic agreements that will carry the cooperation between our two countries to a new stage. We also took part in a business forum aimed at expanding and developing even more trade and cooperation between our countries. Sisters and brothers, during the historic visit of President Mukherjee to Israel last year, he said that our two countries, India and Israel, are young but also ancient. I myself was born in Jerusalem during the British Mandate. We used to dream that one day our own nation, blue and white flag, will wave over the country and our country, but we knew that it is a struggle, and this struggle would be long and quite difficult. My generation grew up with the story of the siege on a place called Metzada. It became one of the really places that are being taught to any child born in Israel. 2,000 years ago, on Metzada, Jewish soldiers were fighting a hopeless battle against the armies of the great Roman Empire. Those Jewish fighters refused to surrender. They preferred to die as free men and not to be slaves. The story of Metzada is well known. It's well known in Israel and all over. What is less well known is that those Jewish fighters on Metzada took the people of India as their role model. They saw in the people of India a nation that cherished liberty more than anything else. Can you imagine, dear friends, 2,000 years ago, Jews in the land of Israel recognized that the yearning for liberty and freedom was shared by the people of Israel, the people of India, and indeed by all humanity. Well, 2,000 years later, it was again the liberation of India in 1947 that paved our way and paved the way for our independence. A year later, in 1948, both India and Israel were liberated from British rule, becoming strong and stable democracies, a state with freedom of expression, equality, liberty, and the rule of law. Ladies and gentlemen, next year we will be marking the 20th and the 25th anniversary of a diplomatic relation between our two states, India and Israel. I have come here together with some of our best minds of Israeli academy, business leaders, Israeli industries, and defense industries. We are here to reaffirm our deep commitment to our shared future. We already cooperated in areas of economies, technology, and security, and this cooperation continues to grow. Israel wants to play part in the four colors revolution that Prime Minister Modi has set as Indian national goal, that brings together the colors of the Indian flag: saffron for solar power, green for agricultural, white for dairy products, and blue for water. In all these issues, Israel, little Israel, has a giant knowledge, and experience, as we have already had to overcome our own challenges in the last 70 years. Our advanced solar power system, irrigation system, water treatment projects, and the average milk production per cow are just a few examples. Today's innovations are almost unimaginable, and we know now that we have companies working to make water out of air. We want to gather all these technologies, all the power of our Israeli innovations as our motivation today to make in India, to make with India, to be your partners. Sisters and brothers, this event is not just another dinner. It is a groundbreaking gathering. I would like to thank the Confederation of the Indian Industry, CIR, for hosting us tonight together with the ORF, the Observers Research Foundation, at this special gala event. We are honored to have here as our partners and hosts India's leading men and women in all fields. Thank you all for your friendship. Thank you for having us here today. On behalf of your guests, let me take a few moments to introduce our delegation. I'm proud to introduce to you the heads of Israeli industry and defense industry. Their products are well known for their top quality and excellence. Friends, we did not seek to become experts in the field of defense, but through the struggle for our independence and our liberty, we learned very well how important it is to be able to defend ourselves, to fight our enemies, to fight terrorism. Today, the battlefield is changing. Cyber warfare. In no longer science fiction, and actually, cyber is no longer science fiction. It is a strategic challenge. In all these areas, Israel and the Israeli industry is ready and committed to strengthen this cooperation to make a safer world. Of course, we are very careful and we are very grateful to our Indian partners for the way they work together with us in order to ensure safe and secured world. There is positive and growing cooperation between our countries in many areas of defense and security. We also face a common challenge in fighting terrorism and radicalism. I am here today to affirm our commitment to the fight against global terrorism. We are here today to carry the great potential of this partnership into reality. From security, let us continue to full security. Mahatma Gandhi said that God comes to the hungry in the form of food. I want to introduce to you a very special group of people, prophets. In the spirit of Gandhi saying, our agricultural, water treatment, food and environment experts. They are literally planning the needs of tomorrow. We already have Israeli and Indian experts working together with the local farmers to improve Indians' product and the lives of local families. We are very proud of all they are doing. Tomorrow, I will visit Karanai, where Indians and Israelis are developing new kinds of cherry tomatoes, which is an Israeli innovation. They are already making in India a future together. Finally, and last but not least, I also have the honor to introduce the presidents of Israel's largest and most important universities and colleges, leaders of the academic institutions ranked among the best in the world, where we invest in our most precious asset, our human capital. In my opening remarks, I spoke about how great ideas have been able to cross national borders. Today, our academic cooperation proves that great ideas can still ignore borders, and it brings together Israel and India's best scholars. To this future of joint education, joint commerce, security and food security, I want to raise a toast, which I'll do immediately after we will get to the table, of course. Our two nations have changed the world before, and it is time to do it again together. Thank you all. Well, folks, let's do business. Thank you.
Excellency Reuven Rivlin, President of Israel, ambassadors, Sanjoy, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I have the honor and privilege of delivering these concluding remarks to what has been a most thought-provoking address. Thank you, Excellency. As we have heard, India and Israel share a very vibrant relationship. Sanjay, when you started talking, I thought you were going to say that we've gone from a relationship where we started from a perspective where my enemy's enemy is my friend, and then moved to a relationship which is now, I think, directly friendship and direct relationships. And that's, I think, a very productive move and change that we've seen over these 25 years. I'd like to take this opportunity to make a couple of very quick points on how we could enhance our business and economic relations. I'm very mindful that I stand between this very distinguished audience and dinner, so I will be brief. Clearly, there are great opportunities in trade, in cooperation, and in business links. And we've heard about some of those opportunities. But Excellency, to have a president of a country come and talk about universities and academic relationships as eloquently as you have is very unique. And it's a reflection of exactly what you told us, of the richness of Israel's human capital and the richness of the potential relationship that we can build between our countries, built around knowledge transfers, and how we can leverage knowledge for our own well-being. And this leads then to a very complementary relationship. Israel's technology startups are legendary. They're legendary in healthcare and biotechnology, in security systems, in food and agriculture, in water and water conservation, in information technology and cybersecurity. And I think India can help scale these innovations to world scale. We can help both by providing a market of our own 1.3 billion people, but by collaborating and combining the innovation of Israel with the innovation of scaling in India, we can serve then a global market, indeed all of the many billion people in the world. So once again, I would like to thank the President of Israel for his address, and we look forward to continuing the conversation and deepening our relationship over the next few days, also in Chandigarh when we talk about agricultural technology and the potential for agricultural productivity, where again there is much that we can collaborate in and learn from Israel. Thank you.